What's up guys, Starlink here. And you know what? I am super excited for Super Mario Maker 2 releasing up at the end of June. So much so that I actually went back to the original Super Mario Maker on Wii U just to kinda brush up on my level creation skills a bit. Hint, they're not really that great. But anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just my general excitement for Super Mario Maker and why I'm really looking forward to picking up its sequel at the end of June. And yes, that is a Wii U sitting in the background playing Mario Maker. I still actually have my Wii U hooked up. It's not a bad system. Don't judge me. When the first Super Mario Maker was released back on Wii U in 2015, I was blown away by the endless possibilities of creating levels. For me personally, the only other game that I spent any amount of time on creating levels was Mega Man Powered Up on the PSP way back in 2006. Does anyone else remember that game? I sure do. Not only was it fun to play through the main story, it had a pretty powerful yet easy to grasp level creation system as well. For its time anyway, and considering it was on the PSP. It makes me wonder why Capcom never expanded upon those ideas featured in Powered Up. Yeah, there was Mega Man Universe, but that doesn't really count considering it was cancelled and never saw the light of day to begin with. I was probably one of the few people who were actually anticipating that game. Sure, the character artwork may have looked a little funky, but the level creation ideas didn't look too far off from what Super Mario Maker introduced. Speaking of which, many years later, Super Mario Maker swoops in to quench that platformer creation thirst that I was craving. And once I got my hands on it, I was surprised at just how easy creating levels was, further aided by the use of the Wii U's tablet and stylus. I was having a blast not only playing through other people's levels, but creating them as well and sharing them online with the community. I remember posting a thread on GameFAQs sharing my levels with everyone and playing theirs as well. We would comment on and rate each other's levels, helping out by giving pointers and such. It was a fun little way of getting your levels noticed outside the massive flood that was already pouring into the game itself. And you can bet I'll be doing something similar when Super Mario Maker 2 drops. Another nice little feature from the first game was using your amiibo or by completing special stages to unlock costumes of other characters, either from Nintendo themselves or from other developers entirely. These costumes took the form of mystery shrooms, and you could only use them in the Super Mario Bros. Themed levels. They didn't add any new gameplay elements or anything, it just changed the way you looked as well as giving each character a unique animation when you pressed up on the D-pad. Still, it's pretty cool playing through a Mario game as the cat from Monster Hunter. I really hope they bring this feature back in Super Mario Maker 2. They didn't mention it in the Direct, so who knows. They might mention it before the game launches, but it's anyone's guess at this point. That aside, however, after watching said Direct, I honestly walked away from it more excited than I initially thought. The level creation tools were already simple and powerful in the first game, yet out comes Super Mario Maker 2 with an assortment of new creation features that will bring about endless level creation possibilities for both pleasure and torment, I'm sure. Adding in slopes and rising water or lava is one thing, but they're bringing back the angry sun, man. Which is, if I remember correctly, he only ever appeared in the desert level in Super Mario Bros. 3. It's funny how something is so simple can turn out to be such a huge deal, but I dig it. Not only that, but we can make night-themed levels too, which will add a slew of new gameplay elements into the mix. I also think it's great that they're actually adding in a story mode this time, as the first game never really had one. And it'll bring an extra incentive for people to pick up the game who maybe don't really want to make levels. Moving on, the ability to switch between different styles of Mario games as you were creating levels was a neat feature, and it looks like they will be making a return in Super Mario Maker 2. Sure, they changed the name of the new Super Mario Bros. Theme to Super Mario 3D World, but it's still technically the same style, just with a few added features. I only wish that there was a Super Mario Bros. 2 theme here. I know I'm not the only one who wants to see that. Maybe we'll get lucky with some DLC or something later on down the road. I like the music tracks that they added in for the stages as well. Many of them sound completely new, adding in more originality compared to the first Mario Maker, which just reused tracks found in past Mario games. So this is exciting news all around. I only wish that Capcom would take a similar approach with the Mega Man franchise. Give us a Mega Man maker or something, so we can satisfy our creative itch in the Mega Man space. Or heck, give us a powered up 2 that expands upon the level creation ideas introduced in the first game, and I'd love it. That's probably even less likely to happen than Mega Man Universe resurfacing though. Come on Capcom, throw us a bone here. Seeing all this new info on Super Mario Maker 2 surface sparked my interest in the first game. Not only to brush up on my own level creation skills, but to get ready for the crap ton of challenging levels that are sure to come up from the sequel. Seriously, for anyone who has played Super Mario Maker before, you know what I'm talking about. Some of the hardest platforming levels exist on that title, and I feel that they will be even worse when Super Mario Maker 2 drops. The lost levels are a cakewalk compared to many of the player-created levels found in Mario Maker, that's for sure. So clearly, with the features introduced in Super Mario Maker 2, that puts it a step up above the original game. And that honestly took me by surprise really, because we're not just getting slopes, right? We're actually getting day and night segments for levels as well, which is going to change up the gameplay mechanics entirely. And that's probably the most exciting feature for me, honestly. I mean, I can see it now. There's probably going to be a lot of the Mad Sun Returns type levels where you have the Mad Sun chasing you around the entire level like mad. I'm saying mad too much. But anyways, other features I would have loved to see that we haven't seen yet, but they could come later as DLC or something, is some new themes of the Mario games. I mean, we already have the standard ones that were from the original one on Wii U, but I would love to see, and many others would love to see, Super Mario Bros. 2, or some of the Game Boy games like Super Mario Land 1 and 2. That would be great. And I know they couldn't put in the Wario Land games because, you know, they're technically about Wario and not Mario, but you know, that's be cool ideas if they somehow put that in there. And some other feature that I would really love to see, if any of you have played the original Super Mario Maker, you would know what I'm talking about, but you could get these mushrooms that would change you into various characters, right? They're costumes of various characters, whether they're from various animes or shows or Nintendo characters themselves, all that kind of stuff. I would like if they expanded upon that a little bit, like maybe adding in, like you get those mushrooms that change you into those characters, right? But add those abilities. So if you're Samus, right, you could just shoot around, turn into a ball, and just change up the gameplay mechanics, but in a Mario Brothers space. Now we kind of saw this with the NES remix titles that were also on Wii U and 3DS, but it would be kind of cool, right? It would change up the gameplay mechanics a bit and would give more creative ideas for making levels. But anyways, I'm blabbing on too much. As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like or a dislike if you didn't. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Reach for the stars, guys.